Hi people and welcome back to the channel. This is SG's Corner. Today I'm going to be breaking down the video of Jayden Daniels and Terry Mclaurin versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week in the NFL wildcard round of the playoffs. Daniels had 268 yards and 2 touchdowns, throwing 89 of those yards to McLaurin with 7 catches and a touchdown. They had a decent game, as you can see, obviously, but this is his first NFL playoffs as a rookie, Jayden Daniels, and he showed out well. Obviously, we're going to be focusing a lot on Terry McLaurin here, and we're just seeing how he's doing a decent job of just being sort of a blanket for Jayden Daniels in this matchup. So before we get into the video, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you can hit that notification bell as well so you get updated when I make new videos. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm really trying to hit that goal of 500 subscribers by the end of February, hopefully. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, fellas. So yeah, let's get right into the video. First clip here, we just see McLaurin. He's going to be stacked up here at the top, as you can see. There you go. He wears number 17, guys. And kind of first rep, right? It doesn't really do much in terms of the release. I probably like to see a little bit more violent hands here to start with. Jayden gets pressured, so he throws that away. But this is the biggest play he made, obviously, in the day, apart from the touchdown he catches later. Here at the top, he's matched up against a really tall corner there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe this guy's name is Dean. I'm going to clarify that later. But you can just watch. He has a fade route. Great explosive release and hell of a job here finishing with the catch. This is just one of those impressive plays, right? Like, it's harder than it looks. So first off, let's start here with the release, man. You could just see, I don't think he necessarily knows if he wants to go outside or inside to start with. I'm okay with, because really it's just a reaction based off what the DB is doing with his hips. So you can see the DB here. He's playing them straight up. How we can tell really is by the front foot of Terry McLaurin here. You can see it splits. It's a terrible line, but you can see it kind of splits the DB's stance. So he's gonna hit him with a first jab, kind of going outside, but you can see that DB's hips, right? He's leaning towards the outside. Okay, you can kind of see that, and then he does a good job of reacting. You can see the DB's hips is clearly all the way outside, and now he's opened that whole space to run into, right? And this is what I'm saying is, like, if you're going up against a DB, don't be so stuck, especially on a fade route, having to release outside, because I always look at it best as I'm always going to best release. So it could be outside or inside, depending on what my release is, and depends how the DB reacts to that. I'm just going to take the best lane and I'm going to go. And that's exactly what Terry does here. And he does a good job, right? He releases inside, but he stacks back out. So that's always what we want to do, because the quarterback is still going to try to throw it away from the safety. And it's a perfect ball, and it's a great catch you get. It's one of those things where with Jayden McDaniels. But Jayden Daniels, he has a fantastic deep ball, right? You can watch his head at the snap for quarterbacks. Head is looking directly at the safety. Safety is somewhere right here in the middle of the field. Looks him off, and as soon as it hit at the top of his drop, he's going to flip his head over towards target. He's a little bit under pressure, and look at where that ball is, bro. And this is a hard catch. The cornerback actually does a really good job of recovering, and he's on his back. It's so hard to try to catch a ball like this over the shoulder while a DB is literally on your back. So that's a fantastic job there, man. So here's another one. Terry's at the bottom of the screen. And just watch his release here. I had a comment on my Instagram after I posted a video of that last catch, and someone was talking about, oh, like Terry doesn't basically fit the mode as a receiver. But there are things that he does really well. And his release I've seen from this tape, he normally gets his DB to shift over his hips, especially when he's explosive at the start. Right? You see it again here. Just a simple 1-2, and the DB's gone. Right? And this is actually a fourth down situation here for the Commanders. They don't really look at Terry McLaurin's way as often, maybe. They got like a mesh concept, but the Bucks like stopped them on like what 90% of the fourth down plays, except for the one that mattered the most when the Commanders basically tied the game and then went out to go win the game on a field goal, right? But again, this is a great release, right? Look at his base, look at his hips shifting over from one jab to the other. That's a great job there. Next play, he has a screen. This is a good job of getting off that first tackle because that's a big DB and getting some yards. Here we go. So here's the RPO play, right? So RPO is a run pass option if you don't know what that is. So the quarterback has the option of either giving this ball to the running back to attack inside there, or he's going to pull it. And he's going to pull it based on either there's a huge open gap here, as we see, and this linebackers are sort of crashing down a little too much and cheating towards the run, right? So it leaves this whole space here to throw the ball into, right? So we see he's looking, look at his eyes, right? He's looking right at this linebackers. Take this off. They're all committed towards the run. He's going to pull it. You see that linebacker going this way. He's going to pull it and hit McLaurin wide open. This is an easy completion. I take this all day. I really like those type of concepts. Here is a run play that I'm taking to show you guys sort of the things Jayden needs to be a little more careful of, especially when you're going to be going up against the Lions next week. They're a tough football team. You know, we all know how Campbell likes his teams to play. He needs to do a better job of just being aware and protecting himself. Like, why are we... oh, no. You know, he gets flipped into a helicopter here. That's not fun, you know? But he does a good job of kind of getting back up. So thank God he was okay. I was a little bit worried when I was watching this game in real time. This is a better job of him protecting himself. This is the same drive, call quarterback draw. You're in the middle of nowhere with defenders all around you. Just get down, okay? Like, he's not a dude with a big frame, but, you know, he seems durable so far, you get. So we got a slice type of concept on display. So a slice type of concept, or slap, I don't know what most officers call it, but it's just like a double slant, right? You got this guy going in there, got this guy going in there. So this ends up being incomplete, but here's what I would like to see Terry McLaurin do better. Terry McLaurin's right here at the bottom of the screen, right? So this DB, right, seems to have inside shade. So when I say inside shade is Terry is lined up straight up. So the DB would be straight up if he's more, I guess, like having Terry's front foot split in both his legs. But you can see he's slightly shaded towards the inside, right? So first off, Terry comes off the line, right? And you can see that DB's opening his hips a little bit to the outside, kind of playing towards the inside a little bit more, as you can see, right? I would like Terry to take this stem release this way, straighten him up, and then go back in here. Okay, but he doesn't do that, right? He's still on this outside. So when he sticks, so let me go back. When he sticks, the DB still has that inside shade, right? The DB still has that inside shade. And now he has that angle, right? So you stick him on the outside, and you're coming back in. Sorry, 1 second. He has the opportunity to close that gap, right? Just because of the angle he has. And that makes it a tougher throw, right? Like he's right there, you know? So young receivers, that's what you need to do, is you need to cheat that stem, okay? You need to go a little bit inside. Get vertical a little bit more and go in here, okay? That will give you a better chance of completing this ball right here. Oh, good. I get my eraser out. Okay, and we can see that's incomplete. Jayden probably sees like the DBs all over there and kind of dirts it almost, right? So this is the first touchdown of the game here for Jayden. You kind of see they bring Terry over from the other side of the field. I'm kind of like what you gonna call it? An over concept. Why is my thing so thick? I don't know. But they bring him over on an over concept. And you can see Dean here, right? He's paying attention to Terry. He's trying to communicate, but they have a bust. Wide open. We'll take that all day touchdown. That's easy money, right? De'Ami Brown. Got a little dance going on. Next play, you got a quick out. Off coverage, stealing candy from a baby. Nice completion. And to the guy that's saying that Terry's a hand, like a body catcher, I mean, all of these balls, like, are towards this chest plate. So I'm more of a guy where it's like, especially if I'm around contact, I'm most likely going to get hit. If you just like a ball catch, like you got good ball skills, doesn't just mean necessarily I always have to catch with my hands, right? You just need to understand the time where it's like, okay, I need to brace for contact. So what's the best way that I can hold onto this ball, right, while catching at the same time, especially if the ball is getting placed right between your chest plate? Okay, I can just catch this in my gut and get down, you know? I think there's always a time and a place for hand catches and ball, like, you know, basically catching in your gut. So this is actually a nice route here by Terry. It's kind of like a fake out and up, and that's actually a really good drop down. But you can see that low DB is kind of playing him, so Jayden just takes it and runs, right? So that's easy. Okay, so another good route here, I think, by Terry Mclaurin. Off coverage this time. A little hezzy. DB grabs him, but he shakes him off and gets to the end route, right? People always think that you got to have something fancy when you're running these routes, and sometimes you just really got to get to your spot as quick as you can. And if you can do that without having to do anything fancy or crazy, the faster you win, the better chance of you getting the football, you know? So there's a time and a place, especially like it needs, whatever you're doing as a receiver, you always got to think, is this within the time of a play? If the quarterback got like a one-step drop from shotgun, I don't really have too much time to mess around, right? So I got to get there as soon as possible. So this is one where I think Terry can do a better job off too. You can see he's got the inside split, which is great. But he has a fade pattern. So a fade pattern is just a go towards the outside. But here's the thing, right? I feel like he doesn't take he rushed this release, right? He had more time than he thinks, especially because Jayden, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a deep drop, you know? And he sort of gets absolutely collision here at the line, and it takes him so wide, right? Ideally, maybe we want to go 2-3 yards, especially given the tight split. And I know it's made for us having that whole space towards the sideline to win. But you're going to see how he drifts, keeps drifting, right? Like, you want to stay vertical. And the DB actually does a really good job. If you can see as it comes off his line, he knows, right? If a tight split, two things going to happen. He's either going to go on this over pattern or most likely he's going to fade ball, you know? Like, or he's going to go outside. And the DB is kind of the perfect space or perfect shade. You can see his shaded towards the outside, right? His hips are literally mirroring that angle right there, right? But I feel like Terry just turns, like he needs to stay vertical longer, right? Right now, he's turning his back to the DB and he's not coming through with like a violent rip move, right? He ain't really doing nothing with his hands. He's just like, oh, I want to turn this into a race. And now the DB's pushed you off course. He's in a perfect position because he's got that, you know? He's got that leverage on you. So now everything you're doing, you're trying to work off. You started up here and now look where you're at already. That's not ideal, right? And we try to get the quarterback to throw those ball on a lane. You know, he's going to get just absolutely collision towards the sideline. Give me a... Okay, there we go. Cleared it. Right? Jayden has what, like... Let me see. Let's go back. Like 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look where he's got to fit this ball. 1 yard. Literally to the sideline. And he still does a good job of getting it there, but that's not what we want. Considering how tight of a split he had to start, we should at least have this entire lane to throw the ball to. But we don't, you know? And I've talked about that in my previous videos. If you haven't given it a watch, go check it out. And Justin Jefferson, he does a great job of giving the the quarterback space to throw the ball. Okay? So here we go. Red zone, right? Where we need to win. Okay, this is what I'm going to hear. He probably needs to do a better job here of winning this route, especially against this DB, right? He's long, right? He's their number one corner. Let's see the release, right? He doesn't like... So it's different, right? Before, at least mostly from one I've seen, he's done a good job winning immediately. Like when the DB's pressed up against him, like a little bit closer, like on the line of scrimmage, he does a good job of getting off immediately. But now the DB is kind of giving him a cushion, right? So it's about like 2-3 yards cushion, right? I say 2 yards. And now his footwork is a little bit messed up, right? He gets here, he closes it, right? Which is good. That's the first thing we always want to do. We want to close that gap. But now what are we doing? It's like, it's not really a true jab, right? Compared to what we've seen early. So he's just not consistent with that. And that's not really threatening the DB. Like, we got to be able to threaten inside a little bit more on a slant or something like that. And I know the DB knows he probably has help with this guy standing right there. But he still needs to be a better job of being sudden, right? At this point. And he doesn't. The DB gets both hands on him. Again, this DB is like 6'2". He's taller than McLaurin. You know? You can't go with an arm over move on a DB that's taller than you. Because it's just limbs, right? It's just, what was it, physics, I guess? It's easier to go underneath with a rip so you can clear these hands more effectively. And he doesn't. Again, he's wide. The DB's got him exactly where he wants him. The DB can look back at the quarterback and have hands on. That's exactly what they want, right? So right now, he's chilling. And you got a comeback route. On a comeback pattern, we need to get him flipping his hips this way, scared of the fade ball. There's absolutely no speed for him to be threatened because he's got hands all over you. And now it's just like, how is Jayden supposed to complete this ball? Right? That's clamped. Right? Clamped. So that's one thing where it's like, okay, that's not good enough, you know? And I definitely think there's space for him to kind of improve in that matter. And he has the lateral quickness and ability to, you know, be more sudden, like on a consistent basis. We've seen it in this film already, but he just wasn't, you know, especially in that red zone situation. I think it was a 4th down. Or no. I think they ended up kicking a field goal on that. Right? So here you can see the corner is now taking it aggressive. All that, like, he's like, yeah, I clumped him up, so I'm gonna just be a little bit too over aggressive. You can see the flag comes out. McLaurin still does a good job of like hit him with a little chicken wing and getting off, but they run back the same pattern, and this time the corner just got called on a flag, right? So he's not as physical after 5 yards, and you can see that sudden stick. Okay, let's go back. Let's see the stick. You see the sudden stick right there. So this is a really good job, right? Now you can see that separation develop, right? So this is good. Next play, going back to the RPO. Man, Jayden Daniels, man, there's some throws in this game I'm going to show you. He was living on a knife edge, I ain't going to lie. And I think this play gets called back, as you can see, illegal man downfield. This lineman steps up a little too far. You only get like a yard from the line of scrimmage, and he's way past that, as you can see. But you can see 52 here almost gets this. You know, but this is, if that the lineman stays like where he's supposed to be, that's another easy play you get, but he gets called back. Next play. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to show you the flag they got called on to end up again in the red zone, because obviously they got a flag, right, on the illegal man downfield. And now this is where Jayden needs to be better a little bit. That's open, right? So they got sort of like a pin concept. So they got that tight end coming through on a flat, and he's going to try to pick off the first guy that's going to try to take him, and then he's going to peel back. So we get this. This lineman comes down good. He's going to go here and try to create some chaos. So Jayden pulls it, right? He's got to throw it now, right? He's got the leverage. If you put this ball to his outside, If you put this ball to his outside, it's an easy catch for him, right? But he delays, and now it's too late, right? So he's going to want that one back. And against an offense like this, Detroit next week, I don't think you get this many opportunities, right? Because the Bucs kept giving the Commanders, you know, more opportunities to get back into this game. And I don't think you'll get that against the Lions. And this is another 4th down, right? They end up going on 4th down. You can see the fans going crazy in the background, right? And everything's clamped. No space, right? The Bucs honestly would be killing themselves. And this is right after the stop, and they fumble it, you know? So the Commanders were living off gifts, I ain't gonna lie. And then they finally make them pay, right? They finally make them pay. Let me go back to the start. So Terry just has a dig. Nothing really fancy here. They in that sort of zone coverage. It's that soft spot again in the back of the end zone. And it's a great throw from Jayden Daniels. Why do I keep calling him McDaniels, bro? I've been watching so much NBA. This is McDaniels twins from Minnesota. But that's a great throw, right? So, again, to the guy that's talking about he's a body catcher, I get it a little bit, but, yeah, he could probably snatch this with his hands. But he's probably bracing for contact here. I've seen him hands catch before, so I'm not going to say, like, he's like Quentin Johnston from the Chargers or something like that. But, you know, there's a time and a place. That's all I'll say. Another out pattern. We get that. So this is when, first of all, this is when they were driving down the field to go win the game with a field goal, right? So now you're going to see kind of Jayden McDaniels is absolutely carving up this defense as we go down. He just seems so calm, cool, and collected. Oh, this is a ridiculous play. First of all, let's go back to Terry McLaurin. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. When the DB is up in his face like this, like right at the line of scrimmage, he seems to be really good with his releases, right? So you can see his actually give him like an aggressive jab, and he's coming. Look at him. Look at his rip. You can see it. But against, when we saw those couple of times, it was just inconsistent, and he gets that lane. If he had this on the fade ball he had earlier, he would have had a touchdown for sure, But this is tough, actually a tough look, because he has like a hook pattern, and when you beat your guy off clean, it's better to normally keep going. If you guys have that audible in your playbook, or a thing where we had this where it's like, okay, if you have a hook pattern, but you beat your DB clean going through on a go route, just put your hand up and keep going, right? But it's tough on the hook when you beat him, and then you got to do this. That's not good. But this is a ridiculous throw by Jayden Daniels. Okay? So Eckler comes through on a play action, and he's come on naked. I don't know if it's not a screenplay. It doesn't look like to me. But there's this linebacker or lineman right here that falls off just at the last minute. I don't know if Jayden sees him. We're going to see this better on the tight line view. But the space he had to put that ball in, if it was 1 inch to the right, I think it gets picked off. Look, I'm going to slow it down. So does he see this lineman? Let me see. Does he see this lineman? I don't know, man. He must have, right? Look where he put the ball. That is ridiculous. And this is a drive where they're trying to go win this game. This is a clutch moment. So that's a ridiculous throw, first of all. And now this is how, like, he's just so fake, this guy, man. Look at this, okay? We're calling run plays now because we're trying to go win the game. Stiff arm to a D lineman in the face. Here, take my towel, bro. I don't need a towel. I'm trying to go down the field and win the game. Look. And what kills me is how pissed off, right? Look, let's go back to let me go back. Yeah. Let's go back to the field sideline view. Look how pissed the D lineman looks. Stiff arm. Take my towel. Oh no, I think I cut that off. But he was cheese, But yeah, man, they're going to kick the field goal to win the game. And it's going to be an interesting game in Detroit. I do think, though, if I'm being honest, right, like, they're going to need to play better than this against the Lions to beat them, especially in Detroit, The Tampa Bay Buccaneers kept making mistakes, giving them a chance to win this game. You cannot go for it on fourth down on so many opportunities, right, and only come out, being successful on just one of those opportunities, And it was given to the fact that the Bucs had a fumble to basically give you that chance. So they're going to need to be more efficient, and have consistent play through the entire 4 quarters of that game against Detroit to give them a chance. Because the Detroit offense is insane, and they can put up points. So I think they won this game 23-20. I don't think that's going to be enough to beat the Lions. They're going to need to score at least 30, 31. So let's see how it goes. Let me know what you think of this video. Stop that. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you think. What are their chances, honestly, against the Detroit Lions in Detroit? Do you think they really do have a chance to cause an upset? And I do think Jayden Daniels plays well, but McLaurin's gonna need to be very consistent, like more consistent, in this game against the Lions. So yeah, leave me a comment, share this video to anyone you think is gonna find it informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one.